Did you ever feel like aging came with a secret rule book, except no one gave you a copy? You turn 70, and suddenly things begin to shift. Not just in your body, but in your relationships, your sense of purpose, your energy. Some of these changes are expected. Others, they take you by surprise. You wake up one day and wonder, why didn't anyone tell me this part would be so hard or so beautiful? If you've been feeling that way lately, you're not alone. In this video, we'll talk about the things most people don't say out loud, about growing older, the emotional truths, the quiet realizations, and the hidden wisdom that comes after 70, because aging isn't just about slowing down. Sometimes it's about finally seeing things clearly. Aging after 70 isn't just about more candles on your birthday cake. It's about entering a chapter where life feels quieter, but also deeper. You start noticing things more. Not because you're weaker, but because you've finally slowed down enough to see clearly. The world around you may keep moving fast. People talk over each other, rush through conversations, chase the next big thing. But for you, something shifts. You begin to value stillness. You start asking different questions. What matters now? Who do I want near me? How do I want to spend my limited energy? And yet, most people don't talk about this chapter. They talk about retirement plans and knee pain, but not the emotional truths. Not the quiet grief of feeling invisible. Not the strength it takes to let go of old roles and find new meaning. That's what we're here for. To give voice to the part of aging that's rarely acknowledged but deeply felt. You're not just getting older. You're becoming more yourself. As the years go by, the need to protect your emotional space grows stronger. You begin to realize that not every conversation needs your voice, and not every invitation deserves a yes. What used to feel like social obligation now feels like unnecessary weight. That's not bitterness. That's clarity. You may find yourself enjoying silence more than chatter. You may feel more connected to your garden, your books, or even your memories than to busy social gatherings. And that's not because you've stopped caring about people. It's because you've started caring more about your own peace. There's nothing wrong with becoming more selective. After all, your time now is sacred. You've earned the right to choose how it's spent and with whom. You've lived through joys and heartbreaks, built deep bonds and lost them, listened to promises kept and broken. So of course you're more discerning. Of course you crave peace over performance. Some people might not understand. They might say you've changed. And in many ways, you have. But change isn't something to fear. It's something to honor. So if you no longer feel the need to explain yourself, to show up for every event, or to keep every old friendship alive, let that be okay. You're not drifting away from life. You're moving closer to what feels real. One of the most surprising parts of aging after 70 is how quietly the body begins to change. Not all at once, not in dramatic ways, but in small, subtle shifts that are easy to overlook. A little more stiffness in the morning, a nap that turns into a deep sleep, a short walk that leaves you more tired than expected. These aren't failures. They're signals. The body, after so many years of serving you, carrying your burdens, chasing your goals, enduring your pace, begins to ask for something in return: attention, patience, care. The whispers might sound like, sit down for a moment, or you need more water, or take it slower today. And if we learn to listen, truly listen, we can respond with kindness instead of frustration. Take John, for example. He's 78 and spent most of his life on the move. Always doing, always helping. But lately, he noticed that bending to tie his shoes took a little more effort. Instead of pushing through, he paused. He saw his doctor, started gentle stretching, and added more rest to his day. I'm not giving up, he says. I'm just learning how to move differently. That's the key. Aging doesn't mean surrendering. It means adapting. Your body still wants to support you, but it needs your cooperation now more than ever. And when you answer that call, with gentler routines, regular checkups, and rest when needed, something beautiful happens. You rebuild trust with your own body. You stop fighting it and start partnering with it. For many seniors, this is hard to accept. You've spent decades being the strong one, lifting, fixing, rushing, leading. So when your body starts to slow down, it can feel like a betrayal. But it's not. It's a call to realign, a gentle invitation to stop ignoring your needs. Remember, your body isn't failing you. It's just changing. And if you can offer it the same patience you've given to others all your life, it will keep showing up for you in ways that matter most. There's a big difference between being alone and feeling lonely, and as you age, you start to understand that more clearly than ever. In your younger years, a quiet house might have felt empty. Silence could seem like something to fill with people, with noise, with distractions. But after half years, something shifts. That same silence begins to feel like home, like a soft blanket you wrap around your soul. You stop chasing crowds. You stop needing to be seen to feel real. Instead, you start seeing yourself more clearly. Take James. For example, he's 82 now. Décades ago, his house was always full kids, co-workers, neighbors. He thrived in the chaos. But these days, his favorite part of the day is sitting on his porch with a warm drink, watching the birds. I never knew how good stillness could feel, he says. This is not loneliness. It's presence. It's the gift of your own company. You begin to realize that your thoughts are worth listening to, that you don't have to explain yourself, that you can breathe, move, and be without adjusting to anyone else's rhythm. And in that space, you often feel more connected to yourself and even to the world than you did in a noisy room full of people. Of course, there are days when solitude can sting, especially when it's not chosen. But more often than not, the peace you feel now isn't from the absence of others. It's from finally making room for yourself. You're no longer rushing to meet expectations, to keep up appearances, or to be what others need you to be. You're learning to simply be, and what a gift that is, to sit with your own heart and find that it still has so much to say. There's a quiet turning point that often happens after 70. When you stop trying to do everything, be everywhere, and please everyone. Instead, you begin to ask, what actually matters to me now? In your younger years, life often revolved around keeping up with your job, your family, your responsibilities, and even your social circle. You said yes to things out of habit, obligation, or simply to be polite. But now, your time feels more limited, your energy more precious. And so your priorities begin to shift. You no longer feel the need to maintain every friendship, attend every gathering, or return every call. Not out of coldness, but out of clarity. You've learned that not all connections are nourishing, and not all conversations are worth your presence. This can confuse the people around you. They may say you've changed, that you're distant, that you've become less social, but what they don't always see is that you're becoming more intentional, not withdrawn, but selective. You're no longer available for everything because you finally realized you don't have to be. Take Evelyn, for example. She used to be the glue that held her friend group together, organizing lunches, checking in with everyone, making sure no one felt left out. But over time, she began to notice that her efforts weren't always returned. She felt tired, not physically, but emotionally. So she made a change. She stopped chasing every connection and started investing in just a few friendships that felt mutual and meaningful. It's not that I care less, she said. It's that I care more, just about fewer things. That's the power of this season of life. You get to redefine what connection means. You get to say no, guilt-free. You get to spend your energy on people and places that fill you up, not drain you. And yes, some people may drift away, but the ones who remain, they'll be the ones who truly see you, who respect your space, and who understand that just because your priorities have shifted, your heart hasn't closed. It's just finally resting where it belongs. One of the most painful surprises of aging is this: sometimes the people closest to you stop truly seeing you. It doesn't always happen in loud, obvious ways. No one says, "You don't matter anymore." But the signs are there, subtle, quiet, and heavy. You're telling a story at dinner, and someone interrupts. You're sharing a concern, and they brush it off with a smile. You walk into the room, and the conversation keeps going like you weren't there. It's not that your loved ones don't care. Often, they simply don't realize what they're doing. Life moves fast, and in their rush, they forget to slow down and really listen. But that doesn't make the silence hurt any less. Take Ella, a 9-year-old retired teacher. She used to be the one everyone came to for advice. Her children adored her stories, but now, during family visits, she notices they're more focused on their phones than her words. They nod, but I can tell they're not really listening. She says, "Sometimes I feel like I'm fading into the background." This feeling of invisibility isn't about ego, it's about longing. Longing to be heard, to be acknowledged, to still feel like your presence matters. And the truth is, it does matter. More than ever, you carry decades of life, love, lessons, and resilience. That wisdom doesn't disappear just because others stop asking for it. It lives in you, even if the room grows quiet when you speak. So what can you do first? Remember, this being unheard doesn't mean you're unimportant. Sometimes the world forgets how to honor its elders, but that doesn't mean you forget your own worth. Speak anyway. Share anyway. Write your stories down. Tell them to someone who does listen, even if that person is yourself, because being seen isn't just about others noticing you. It's also about you refusing to disappear. Perhaps one of the quietest freedoms that comes with aging is this: you no longer feel the need to prove yourself. You've spent decades showing up at work, for your family, in your community. You've met expectations, fulfilled roles, held things together. You've tried, stretched, endured, and given, sometimes more than you had. And somewhere along the way, you believed you had to keep proving you were strong, capable, worthy. But now you realize you don't have to anymore. You don't have to attend every event out of guilt. You don't have to say yes when your body or your heart wants to say no. You don't have to explain your choices, apologize for your rest, or justify your limits. You are allowed to exist as you are. Samuel Basha-san used to say yes to everything. Church events, family errands, neighbor favors. "I thought if I said no, people would stop needing me," he shared. But over time, he felt worn thin, not just tired, depleted. That's when he made a change. Now, he picks one thing a day, something he wants to do, and lets go of the rest. It's not selfish, he says. It's self-respect. Letting go of the need to prove yourself is not about giving up. It's about living more honestly. It's about waking up and asking what feels right for me today, and letting that be enough. Yes, some people may misunderstand, but peace doesn't come from pleasing everyone. It comes from listening to yourself. You've already proven everything you need to prove simply by being here. Still learning, still loving, still growing. So rest when you need to. Speak when you're ready. Say no without guilt. You don't have to wear any badge, earn anyone's approval, or play roles that no longer fit. You've earned your freedom. Now, live in it. If any part of this video has made your eyes well up, or your heart ache just a little, that's okay. That means you're human, and more importantly, it means you've been through a lot. You've lived, loved, lost, endured, and adapted more times than most people realize. Aging after 70 isn't just about physical changes. It's an emotional journey, full of quiet adjustments, invisible griefs, and moments of unexpected beauty. But because so few people talk about these things openly, it can sometimes feel like you're the only one feeling them. You're not. There are millions of older adults just like you sitting on their porches, walking slowly through grocery aisles, or staring out the window with 1,000 thoughts in their minds. And many of them carry the same questions. Do I still matter? Why do I feel so far away from everything I used to love? Is it normal to want more silence than company? Why does life feel slower, but also heavier? The answer, yes. It's all normal. It's part of becoming more inward, more present, more real. You are not broken. You are not fading. You are not irrelevant. You are in a new chapter 1 that deserves just as much care, joy, and attention as the ones before it. The world may not always slow down to meet you, but that doesn't mean you need to catch up. You set your own pace now. You decide what matters. You choose who and what gets your time. And no, you don't have to stay strong all the time. You don't have to smile through everything. You're allowed to have hard days. You're allowed to miss who you used to be and still love who you're becoming. Sometimes, reassurance doesn't come in big declarations. It comes in soft reminders you're still here. You still matter. You are deeply, quietly needed, even if no one says it out loud. So if you're feeling invisible, tired, or emotionally tender lately, know that it's not weakness. It's wisdom taking root. It's your soul telling you to rest, to reflect, and to be kind to yourself. The truth is, aging is not about disappearing. It's about distilling, letting go of the noise, keeping only what feels honest, and realizing that the most powerful version of you isn't the one who does everything. It's the one who knows they no longer have to. If this chapter of life feels unfamiliar, even confusing at times, that's okay. You're not walking backwards. You're not fading. You're evolving. So much of what happens after 70 isn't talked about enough. Not because it's unimportant, but because it's too deep for casual conversation. How do you explain the quiet ache of feeling left out of your own family? The strange comfort of silence? The bittersweet beauty of watching your priorities shift from doing to simply being? These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of awakening. Because when you've lived through as much as you have, love, loss, change, uncertainty, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop needing the world's approval. You start seeking peace instead of applause. You trade urgency for presence. You begin to ask different questions. Not, how much more can I do, but how can I do less and feel more? And that shift, that quiet, powerful shift, is what this season of life is really about. You may feel like the world has gotten louder and faster while you've gotten quieter and slower. That's not failure. That's alignment. Your pace now matches your soul. You've earned the right to move differently, to rest without guilt, to speak only when it matters, to be deeply honest about what fills you up and what drains you. Maybe you found yourself spending more time in the garden, or watching birds, or sitting by the window, doing nothing at all, and feeling no need to explain it. That's not wasting time. That's reclaiming time. That's living on purpose. You don't need to go out and prove anything. You don't need to fight to stay visible. Your value was never in how much you accomplished, how busy you were, or how well you kept up. It's always been in your presence, your wisdom, your lived experience, your story. And if people don't always see that, it doesn't mean it's not true. Sometimes, the most valuable things are the hardest to recognize until they're gone. You are one of those things, so let this be your permission slip to be quiet and still be powerful, to feel deeply and not hide it, to set boundaries and not apologize, to do less and feel more, to grow older and grow truer. Let go of the voices inside and out that tell you you're slowing down too much, pulling away too far, changing too deeply. You're not shrinking, you're settling into who you were always meant to become. You are still here, still becoming, still worthy of joy, peace, softness, and meaning. And the more you allow yourself to age on your own terms, not how society expects, but how your soul desires, the more beautiful, grounded, and free your later years will be. This is not the end of the story. It's just a new way of telling it, more gently, more slowly, more honestly. You've spent your life giving to others. Now is your time to come home to yourself. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you truly. Thank you for giving this time to yourself, for listening not just with your ears, but with your heart. Aging is a journey that can feel incredibly quiet, even invisible, but you're not invisible here. This space was created for you to say what often goes unsaid, to name what's hard to name, and to remind you that your voice still matters. You are not a leftover from the past. You are a living part of the present, and your story is still unfolding. So as you move through the rest of your day, maybe with a cup of tea or a walk outside, or just a few quiet minutes in your favorite chair, I hope something from this video stays with you. A sentence, a feeling, a softness. Maybe you'll call an old friend. Maybe you'll write down a memory. Or maybe you'll simply breathe a little easier, knowing that someone out there understands what you're going through. This channel isn't here to give advice or tell you how to live. It's here to sit beside you for a few moments like an old friend on a park bench and say, I see you. I get it. And I'm walking this path too, in my own way. If this video made you feel even a little less alone, would you consider sharing it with someone else who might need it too? A friend, someone you haven't heard from in a while. You never know who's quietly struggling and who might need the gentle reminder. You still matter. More than you think. And if you'd like to stay connected, we'd love to have you here. Feel free to subscribe or just stop by from time to time. You're welcome. Anytime, no pressure, no expectations. Just a space to breathe, reflect, and remember you're not alone on this journey. Until next time, take care of yourself. Be kind to your body. Trust your pace. And never forget, becoming older isn't the end. It's a softer, slower, more sacred beginning